I welcome all students of 5th semester A and B division for this today's presentation. So I am Dr. S. R. Vasavaredi, doing the continuation of related joint examples. So yesterday I have taken the examples of general case of related joints applicable for any structural joints. Now here in particular I continue with the examples under the boiler joints, means the joints which are used for making the steam generation, boilers, locomotive boilers or general Babcock boilers, etc. Before this example, you would like to read this page. What we have here is a note I written IBR, meaning that Indian Boiler Regulation, a recommendation for the design of the riveted joint for the boiler or pressure reservoirs. So this recommendation is very important. Longitudinal joint must be a butt joint. So I explained you already how the butt joint is made and how the lap joint is made. So in particular, in case of the boiler, longitudinal joint means the joint along the axis of the boiler is to be always butt joint. Along the circumferential direction means around the diameter, along the circumferential joint to increase the length of the boiler, it must be a lap joint. So these are the recommendations. So I have to design as per this recommendation only. So keeping in mind the recommendation. So in view of that, I have the example here. Design and draw a fully dimensioned neat sketch in two views of a double riveted butt joint with a double cover plates. There are two cover plates for the longitudinal seam of a boiler. You can see I have underlined particularly longitudinal seam of a boiler, meaning that it must be a butt joint. So as recommended by IBR, but the butt joint is already given also here. That's why it's right. Even if this butt joint is not given, meaning that the longitudinal joint has to be butt joint. So 1500 millimeter in diameter when working pressure inside is 1 Newton per mm square, use the following data. Allowable stress and tension for steel plates 75 megapascal, allowable stress in shear for rivets 55 megapascal, allowable stress in compression for steel rivets as 120 megapascal. So permissible stress values are also given. So in case the ultimate stress values are given, divide them by a suitable factor of safety if given, otherwise you can assume and make them as an allowable stress. Okay. So I will continue with the design procedure. Procedures for initial stages of the design is slightly different in case of the boiler. So assuming efficiency of a double riveted cover butt joint, eta is 70 to 82%. This data you will get from the table 5.1 in the data handbook. So for the double cover riveted joint, double cover butt, this efficiency is given in the table. In this range, preferably assume a smaller value than the larger value. So now I am assuming 75%, meaning that the joint is 75% efficient. So thickness of the boiler shell, first I calculate the T is Pi d divided by 2 sigma into eta. So this is from the thin and thick cylinder examples studied in mechanics of material. So that equation itself is taken here. Only thing that is divided by efficiency. So this equation is available in the design data. So PS stands for internal fluid pressure, D is the drum diameter, sigma is permissible tensile stress value for the plate material, eta is the joint efficiency. So all the values I know is given to me. Joint efficiency you have to take in 75%, whatever you have assumed here. So that has to be taken in a decimal 0.75. So when I calculate this, it will come 13.33, so rounded up to 14 millimeter. Second is the diameter of rivet. Since the thickness is more than 8 mm, so Unwin's formula can be directly used. So Unwin's formula here is 6.07 root of T. 6.07 root of T is 14 mm, so 22.7 mm will get. So standard rivet size D is 24 mm. So nearest size from the table, again I have to refer this for the table for standardization. Then after this step, the only first step is different, remaining steps are same as earlier example, whatever I calculated. Each of the rivets I go for equating the tearing resistance with the shearing resistance. So tearing resistance is P minus V, T into sigma T is equal to N into, it's a double cover plate, so double shear failure will be there, so 1.875 by 4 D square into tau. So instead of double 2 times, so IBR recommends 1.875 as a standard calculation. So when I substitute all the values except pitch P value, so pitch P I will get from this equation as a 112.86. But there is a IBR recommendation. In the data handbook, this equation is available for recommendation to calculate pitch. P maximum is going to be K1T plus 41 mm. So K1T is going to be, K1 is going to be 3.5 from the table 5.4a. So this value is available for double riveted butt joint. Then I substitute that 3.5 into 14, thickness of the plate plus 41, I will get 90 mm. Since IBR says this is the maximum pitch, as per the basic fundamental equation equating tearing resistance to shearing resistance, I get a pitch as 112.8. So right now I will ignore this pitch. I will adopt the P maximum as calculated by IBR, even though it is smaller, this is maximum. So adopt the P maximum as a 90. So henceforth in all the remaining calculations, wherever pitch P comes, it's 90 to be used rather than 112.86. Then transverse pitch, assuming a chain riveting, A is not given, we are assuming this condition, chain riveting and zigzag riveting. Chain is a symmetric arrangement of rivets, zigzag is a staggered arrangement of rivets. So if nothing is given, I will assume the chain riveting. PT is given as greater than or equal to 2D, so greater than or equal to 2 into 24, diameter of rivet is calculated, so it comes as 48. So transverse pitch means the distance between the row of rivets. Then thickness of the equal cover plates. So the equation is also available in the data handbook. Ti is equal to T0, so cover plate thickness for equal width 0.625 T. So that's equal to 0.62514, so 8.75 cm. Even if you make this as a 9 mm, there is nothing wrong in that. Margin M is going to be 1.5D, 1.5 into 24, 36. So these are the proportions which are available. So transverse pitch, margin, thickness of cover plate, the proportions are available in the handbook. Use that proportion to calculate these things. Then important step calculation is efficiency of the joint. Again use A, B, C, D, the 4 steps. A is the strength of the solid plate, capital T, P into T into sigma T, pitch is 90, T, thickness of plate is 14, tearing strength value of the tensile strength value of the plate material is given in the example 75, so it comes as 94.5 kN. So tearing resistance of plate P minus D T sigma T. So when I put all the values, I will get 69.3 kN. Shearing resistance of the rivet PS, I will get N times 1.875 for D square into tau. So when I put all the values, I will get 93.75. Crushing resistance of the rivets PC is N into D into T into sigma T. D into T is the area, sigma C is the stress value, area into stress value. This is the force multiplied by a number of rivets. So number of rivets per pitch length in this case is going to be 2 because all the rivets are in double shear failure. So there are 2 rivets per pitch length. So when I put that value, you will get 80.64 kN. So among these values, PT, PS, PC, the least is going to be PT, that is 69.3. So whatever you have here, 69.3 is a smaller compared to PT, PS value and PC value. So that's what the statement is, least strength is PT. So PT divided by P, solid plate into 100, so 69.3 into 94.3 into 100, so 73.3. But the assumed efficiency at the earlier stage, I'll go back here. I have assumed efficiency of 75, but I am getting efficiency of this riveted joint as 73. So meaning that this joint is not going to be safe. That's what I written. So less than 75 assumed, so hence the joint is not. So I have to adopt a new pitch. Now I have to change the pitch now. Because in the second stage I have adopted pitch as equal to 90 here. As because of the IBR recommendation, this is maximum pitch 90. But I ignored this pitch value earlier, basic pitch. So now I am ignoring this pitch, so I am going to adopt somewhere this value. So I will adopt as a 110 rather than 112.5. When if I adopt 112.5, I think about it. So new pitch is 100 mm. This is what I am taking. So PT divided by P into 100, that's least efficiency what we have done earlier. So this is PT by P into 100. PT value I will put as P minus D T into sigma T. P value I put in the denominator P into T into sigma T. So T sigma T cancels this. So put the value here 100 minus 24 by 100 into 100. So it gets 76, which is greater than 75. So hence we can say it is going to be safe. So I have given here the joint figure. You can see the figure very clearly. Yesterday I have given you triple riveted double covered butt joint. Now I am giving you double riveted double covered butt joint. So these two are the parent plate. This is one plate butting over here face to face, and this is another. of 14 mm thickness. One cover plate at the top 8.75, one cover plate at the bottom 8.75. Okay, so these two. So in this parent plate, if you take a right side plate, there are two rows. One is this row, another is this row. From the edge of the plate, this is both width having same width. So bottom plate width and top plate width are having same width. So this is the cover plate on the top, bottom it will be same. So from here the margin M36. From here to here is a transverse switch 88. From here to the bottom cover plate, bottom in the parent plate, edge of the plate is going to be margin 36. So this side is a mirror image of this side. Okay, so here also I should get one rivet here, one rivet here. I should get, I am not marked here, so I should have one rivet here, I should have one rivet here. So let's see, we have the double rivet. In a similar manner, I would like to go for another example of a whole boiler joint. So how the boiler joint is made actually, longitudinal joint is made from butt joint, circumferential joint is made from the lap joint. So here I take one specific example to design both the type of joints. Okay. So now here I read the example. A triple riveted butt joint with equal double cover plates, zigzag riveting is given arrangement in the bracket, is used for the longitudinal joint. So longitudinal joint has to be butt joint of a Lancashire boiler. So it's a case study, but the practical example of a Lancashire boiler, Babcock Wilcox boiler. So Lancashire boiler is taken of 2.5 meter internal diameter. The working steam pressure is 1.12 Newton per meter square and the efficiency of the joint is 85%. Calculate the plate thickness of mild steel of allowable stress of 120 megapascal and shear stress of 90 megapascal. Design a suitable circumferential joint also. So in both one same example, if it is example of this kind, it is going to be full length of 20 marks example. Okay. So I am first supposed to design the longitudinal joint, which is a butt joint. Later I have to design the circumferential joint, which is lap joint. He does not say whether it is a lap joint or butt joint. You have to understand, as per the IBR recommendation, the longitudinal joint has to be this is longitudinal joint has to be butt joint, circumferential joint has to be lap joint. So now I will go for the butt joint. Design of a longitudinal joint. Let T be the thickness of the boiler shell. T is again Pi d by 2 sigma t eta. So efficiency is given 85% in the example. So 0.85. Pressure is given. Diameter 2.5 meters is given. I converted as a millimeter, 2500 as millimeter. So this all stress values are given. So it will come as 13.72. So it will rounded up 40. As the thickness is more than 85, unused formula is used. So 6.07 root of T, 6.07 root T, 22.7 it will come. So rounded up to 24 as a standard size. 24. So first then I go for calculation of the pitch of rivets. Pitch is obtained by equating tearing resistance to shearing resistance, the basic equation. So tearing resistance P minus D T into sigma T. So PS is going to be 3 times 1.8754 D square into tau. This is the two equations I written here. I am equating. Okay. When I equate here triple riveted, so N is going to be 3 number of rivets per pitch. So this is a substitution. So I get the T as 160.72. But as per the IBR recommendation, so it is a K1T plus 41 mm. So it's 41 actually. I have written 40 here. So change this. Stones are required to change this to 41 mm. As it is in the data book. K1 comes as 3.5 for 3 rivets of rivets, double cover. And when I calculate that, it will come as 89 or round off to 90. It will come to 90. So adopt as 89 millimeter only. T max. Transverse pitch again for zigzag riveting, which he has already given zigzag alignment. So 0.33T plus 0.67D. So when I substitute the value, I get this is a 45.4445. This you can round up to 46 also in case you want. Thickness of butt stack since for equal cover means equal width cover, so thickness also going to be same. T1 is equal to T2 or Ti is equal to T0. So 0.625T. When I put the value, it is 8.75. Margin is going to be 1.5D, 1.524, so it comes to 36. As the efficiency calculation, So tearing resistance of the plate Pt is P minus d T sigma T. So I'll get this value of 1000, so 109.2 kilonewton. Shearing resistance of the rivets N times 1.8587554 d square into tau. N is a 3 triple riveted butt joint, so triple riveted means 3. So I'll put the value here, so I'll get this as a value. Then strength of the unriveted plate, solid plate, I calculate P into T into sigma T, 89 into 14 into 120, so I'll get this value. So efficiency of joint Pt by P into 100, so when I put the values here, it will get 73. Since the efficiency of the joint is very less, because 85% is given, so let us increase the pitch of the rivets to 160 mm. So I will now ignore IBR recommendation. I will go back to the pitch as given by the IBR. So with that recommendation, beta as P minus D by P, because this is PT, this is a solid plate P, so when I substitute value, I get as 85%. It's very nearer to 86. So henceforth, I can ignore all that. Hence, the joint efficiency of the joint is equal to the given therefore joint is. Now I will go for design of a circumferential joint. So in this joint, since the plate used to be used is the same, diameter of rivet is also the same. So now I cannot change the plate, I cannot change the rivet. So these two steps are going to be avoided now. Only circumferential direction, how many rivets are to be used, because length of the plate is not known exactly. So in longitudinal joint, we do not calculate number of rivets. Circumferential joint 2.5 meters circumference is fixed. Therefore, I must know how many rivets are required in the circumferential direction, diameter direction. So therefore, I calculate number of rivets in the joint is given as N is equal to d square Pf divided by d square into tau. So this d square Pf is obtained by as it is, we are going to equate the total gas force to the force resisted in shearing. Okay, because lap joint, circumferential joint is a lap joint, it is going to be single shear failure, so pi over 4 d square into tau. That's it. When I equate these two, you are going to put the value here, you will get as a 135 number of rivets. So totally I have to use 135 number of rivets in the circumferential direction. As a result, how many rows are required, I will calculate again. Which of the rivets I will take pitch in between 3D to 60 is available in the data handbook. So taking pitch as a 5D, so I will 5 into 24, I will get as 120. So with this pitch value, now I will go for calculate number of rows. In how many rows I have to accommodate 135 number of rivets. So that you have to calculate. So there is equation also. N1 is N into P by pi D. So it's a circumference. Pi D is circumference. N is total number of rivets 135 calculated. P is 120. Pi into D also known. So it's going to be 2.06. So this pitch you have to slightly adjust to get this rounded off value. So rows we take it as 2. Then we calculate efficient joint. It is P minus D by P. P minus D by P. The values are put here. It comes to 80%. Transverse pitch. Again, zigzag type, 0.33p, 0.670. So when I put the value, you will get 55.86. Margin 1.5. So this is the figure. So you can see the sketch here. This part students can see here. This part is going to be the figure connected to triple riveted butt joint. You can see here at the center. So this is the parent plate up to here. Dotted line also one parent plate. From here to here, I have the another plate. This is the bottom cover plate. This is the top cover plate. So triple, one row here, one row here, one row here. So in this plate, bottom plate, parent plate, this is 3 rows. In this plate, you have the 3 rows. Okay. So it's a zigzag type. So they are not symmetrical. Rivets in the center row are staggered compared to this row and this row. Okay. So this is a triple riveted butt joint. It's along the axis of the boiler. Circumferentially, you can see here. This plate is overlapping this plate, cover plate. Okay. So double riveted. Again, is a zigzag type. So this is the joint of at the junction of the longitudinal and circumferential joint for increasing the length of the boiler drum. Okay. Thank you, students, and we will follow again the another part. This is what I am covering is one complete part of the riveted joint design for general structural purpose and a boiler purpose. So next we have another 2 more different topics of design that will be separate.